Hello everybody, I am the LightningTurk and welcome back to another Conflict of Nations Modern War role-playing round. So, similar to the Call of War role-playing round, this also hasn't started. I've posted both of these articles, I do believe, around, mid-January. So it's been like a week or so. And this is the 1990 onwards roleplay. And this is another training round that is on Conflict of Nations in order to provide a benefit to the RP community and hopefully get some larger rounds going through recruitment of Conflict of Nations role players. So, as an introductory note, this roleplay is a relatively free-form one with no established alliances or diplomatic agreements. I would like to state that those who would like to participate will be required to have a Discord account in order to provide appropriate communication and inhibit any sort of inactivity. And, as you all know, the link to the Discord server is the RPU server. The roleplay lore is also edited in order to inhibit the creation or establishment of large-scale alliances. This being the European Union, NATO, what's the third one? The Warsaw Pact, and just things of that nature. So it just goes like this. By the 1980s, the Eastern Bloc had begun to fall dangerously behind the West, both economically and technologically. To address these issues, Mikhail Gorbachev introduced economic reforms and opened up Soviet politics. He also sought better relations with the West by declaring an end to Soviet meddling in Eastern Europe. The result was the peaceful dismantling of communism in both Poland and Hungary. East Germany followed suit a few months later with demonstrators tearing down the hated Berlin Wall. Unfortunately, this had incredible effects on the rest of Europe. In an attempt to stir up détente and provide unilateral peace, NATO and the European Union agreed to disband entirely, albeit unexpectedly early from their intended result of uniting both East and Western Germany, meaning that neither East nor West Germany completely united. So now in 1990, with East Germany having refused to capitulate and integrate itself into West Germany, questions linger of whether the decision to disband both NATO and the European Union are shadowed by the increase of nationalist sentiments all over the European continent. So the partial the partial disintegration of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics into separate but still socialist Soviet republics happened, creating independent Baltic states as well as an independent Belarusia and Ukraine. So, it was just an attempt to try to alternate a lore that would keep super alliances from forming on the 1990s map. And this has the obvious rules in that no trolling, no gold usage, and the like. And then this also goes in the same style as the types of training role plays that I like to do, which are 1 day equals 6 months and 2 days is a year, have a good knowledge of post-World War II history. If a nation becomes 5 provinces, vassalization, and just be mindful of relationship statuses with other nations within this time period. So you shouldn't expect, the UK and the US to just immediately become enemies. There are no limits on buildings and no limits on units, nor are there limits on technological research, so just go wild. And then there are also infamy rules. So infamy is essentially the aggressive expansion counter for the game in order to make sure that players don't expand like wild, uncontrollable monsters. And the infamy cooldown consists of a set number of infamy points being the limit. So for this roleplay, 50 infamy will be the limit. Anything above 50 triggers a coalition war in which nations around you gain 0 infamy for taking the amount of provinces that push you over that limit. And then if you're at war with a specific country for more than 3 years, the infamy cooldown is negated for you in order to attempt to stir peace. And if I see this failing, I will personally have to step in and ask you both to make peace. Because it's just, you're not here in a roleplay to wipe each other off the map. Um, and there are several ways to both gain infamy as well as lose infamy. So, infamy is gained for taking provinces on either side of the war. So, if you take someone's province and someone takes it back, you both gain 5 infamy. 10 infamy is gained for declaring war on a country. And then 5 infamy is gained for starting a colonial war, as well as 20 infamy being gained for joining someone else's war. So this sort of thing. And of course, even if the country is inactive or AI, it loses its provinces as per the infamy rules. So we have a few spots open, and by a few I mean around, I think 9. Yeah, the Kingdom of Norway is open, East Germany is open, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Algeria, Yugoslavia, Romania, the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic, the Ukrainian Social the Soviet Socialist Republic of Ukraine, and I do believe that's it. So if you guys are interested in joining this Call of War I keep saying Call of War, my God. But if you guys are interested in joining this Conflict of Nations role-playing round, I'll have a link to it underneath this video, and peace.